Because I realize, as of late, that I often write scripts and then after spending all the time writing the script, I generally don't film them. So I'm trying to fix that by not writing scripts. So my videos may be a little more incoherent and I may flail my arms about a little more wildly. I have 20 minutes before I have to go to work. Speaking of work, let's talk about job creators. Supposedly, the rich are job creators and we can't raise taxes on the job creators because then we wouldn't have any jobs, which is a load of bullshit for a lot of reasons. First off, saying that taxing the income of the wealthiest is going to hurt job creation, it just underscores a person's complete lack of understanding of the tax code. If I'm a business person and I make X amount of dollars a year, I have some employees. If my income is taxed at a higher rate, the higher the rate of taxation for my income, the more likely that I am to invest in my employees to give them higher wages because payroll is not taxed. When I pay my employees a higher wage, I don't have to pay that in tax. I can essentially hide my money from the government by paying my employees better. But let's go to the idea of the rich being job creators. Why do we call them job creators? That idea is complete bullshit. Well, why is that? I'm glad you asked. The reason that it's complete bullshit is because wealthy people don't create jobs. That's not how economies work. To strike at the heart of this idea of the wealthy being job creators, let's imagine for a moment an economy with no demand. It isn't actually that hard to imagine. I mean, if you are a member of the middle/working/lower class, you already know what it's like to not have money. So if you don't have money, you don't have money to spend on things. So let's just take that just a little bit further and say that you have absolutely no money whatsoever, and also, though, no debt. And so there's no exchange of any money going on. You don't have an economy. If you have a demandless economy, you don't have an economy. Now let's say that I'm a rich person and I'm running a widget factory and I'm gonna produce my widgets, but there's no demand for my widgets. I have absolutely no incentive whatsoever to hire more people or to create jobs to make more widgets if nobody's buying widgets. That's because consumer demand creates jobs. I create jobs. You create jobs. Every time that you spend money, you're creating jobs. The only purpose that rich people serve in our economy is to be sitting at the very top and using their capital to buy the means of production and to provide the initial capital. Once they do that, they end up getting returns on their investments. They make more money just by spending money. They don't do any labor. So if they paid you what your labor is worth, they wouldn't be able to be rolling in millions of dollars. The reason why they have multi-million-dollar bonuses is because they pay you for less than what you're worth. They exploit your labor because you're poor and you have to eat. They exploit you and then they reap all the benefits. That's capitalism. That's how it works. That's not how it has to work. If anybody has read Adam Smith's theory of moral sentiments, then they would understand that social morality is supposed to be a guardian. The problem is, though, is that too many people have read The Wealth of Nations and too few people have read the theory of moral sentiment. Adam Smith was a smart guy. The two books are supposed to go together, and if you read the theory of moral sentiment, empathy is like the underpinning argument. The whole book is about like, why do we have empathy? Why do we care about other people? And where is this inherent morality that people seem to have? What is that based out of? And it's based out of the survival of our species and the survival of our economy. When we allow the sociopathic greed of Wall Street to be acceptable, when we allow for that to be okay or something to strive for, then our society begins to collapse, our economy begins to collapse, and our survival as a culture or as a species becomes threatened. Adam Smith understood that. Most people only read the first half of that book. They don't understand. The only purpose that rich people serve is to exploit the labor of poor people. That'll do it. Je peux manger des croissants pour chaque repas.